So I wanted to talk with you about a topic that I discussed with a client the other day, and it's the understanding that you can't have your ideal business while you're building your ideal business. And I feel almost dumb in saying it because until yesterday I had never actually articulated that out loud. It's something that I think I always intuitively believed. It's something that I think is in some ways common sense. I mean, we know that if you want a different outcome, you have to take a different path. You have to be willing to change. I mean, there's that old adage of the definition of insanity being doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. So I think I always intuitively kind of made too many assumptions that people got that, but it's worth saying out loud. It's worth remembering while we're on the journey, while we're engaged in the process, that you can't have your ideal business while you're creating your ideal business. So what do I mean by that? Well, once we get clear about where we're trying to go, who we want to serve, the role we want to play in the business, what our business looks like, how we're delivering a service, how much income we're making, how much time off or the hours we're actually working. Once we kind of get clear about that, we have to understand that we can't automatically like leapfrog to that point usually, right? It's almost impossible to go from a business where you're not happy, you're not ecstatic about where you are, to this point of being happy in all these different areas of your business overnight. We can't do that. And we have to understand that we probably got to give up some things along the way to get to that point. Now, the first thing that I think we have to most likely give up is our comfort zone. We have to be willing to do some things differently if we expect that different outcome. We have to probably make changes like Daniel Ming made, where he went from doing all one-on-one training in his facility switching to semi-private. And he actually took a little bit of a revenue dip the first year that he was making that move. His profit stayed static, but his gross revenue went down a little bit before it jumped back up and the profit doubled. Now, I'm sure in the middle, you're thinking, man, we're not making quite as much money this month as we made last month. So this makes you a little bit anxious. And that's just part of the process, right? We have to be willing to maybe step away from what we're comfortable doing. Another way to think about this is, let's say that you want to hire an employee, and right now, you're making enough money that maybe financially you're okay individually, but you know that if you have to pay an employee, it's going to be a little bit before you can really reap the rewards of having that person on staff, because you got to train them up. You've got to make this new role you're going to be stepping into valuable. So you may take a little bit of a pay cut for a brief period of time before you can now create that additional leverage that you're trying to create when you hire somebody. So how do we navigate that? Well, a lot of times it's as simple as saying, okay, my goal is in the next 60 days, I'm going to have recouped my investment. I'm going to be making as much money myself or more while playing this new role. I'm going to be moving in this new seat or new role in the business. And now I've got this other person that allows me to scale beyond where I could have on my own. So anything that we're going to do, we're going to fall into that. We're going to be getting uncomfortable if it means shifting to a different format of training, private to semi-private. If it means moving into our own location after subleasing, if it means hiring staff, even if it means paying yourself first, which seems kind of funny, right? Hey, I'm paying me, but maybe that means that you're actually having to step into being a little bit more responsible and acting like a business owner instead of just being a fitness professional who happens to pay his bills through what comes in. And then the last one is one that I deal with almost every time I get on a call with somebody who's a prospective member in Ideal Business Academy or somebody who wants to join a mastermind group, is the discomfort of stepping away from their business for 2 or 3 days to come to a mastermind meeting because they're the sun in their little universe there, and they can't leave without thinking all the other planets are going to die off without them being there. And really, it's kind of a stress test, right? You move away from the business and you have to set your business up in a way that it can function without you there for 2 days. It forces you to work on the business instead of in the business. So it's kind of this trial by fire, or really kind of pushing you into the deep end of the pool. But that's uncomfortable. I've been there. In fact, investing in my first mastermind was super uncomfortable because it took such a big chunk of kind of my free cash flow or disposable income. So understand that the journey is not always going to be easy and comfortable. That's why we talk so much about, hey, what are your wins for the week? Winning the day. So you can add some enjoyment and some happiness to the process. The process may not be giving you that end result immediately. You're not going to get immediate gratification, but it doesn't mean you can't feel good about the journey. It doesn't mean that it all has to be miserable. Yes, we need to celebrate those milestones and those incremental wins along the way, but know that you're going to have to change something today to get something better tomorrow.